Well, g'day and welcome to StyroCHAT. So let's have a look at StyroSEAL LT a little bit more closely. It's a 4-part extrusion system. It consists of your main doorway extrusion, the rear clip-in leg, which is pretty important, I'll get back to that later, the door extrusion, and of course the self-adhesive deseal. Okay, now StyroSEAL LT with the removable back leg is designed to cap up a 4-sided hole. Now that being not level with the floor, but say you're in the middle of a panel and you need to cap 4 sides of it, obviously. Now the trouble is, if you've got an extrusion piece that's got a solid rear leg, it's virtually impossible to miter cut the pieces and get that last piece in. So the way we get out of that is having that little piece removable. When you get your custom-made hatch door with your panel set, and if you stipulate that you want to use StyroSEAL LT, you'll notice that the door panel has been rebated like so, and it's actually rebated to fit the door trim, so it will fit on very nicely like so. You'll also note that your door panel will be cut specifically for whatever lock that you specify. In the build here behind me, they've specified StyroLOK medium, so it's a bigger lock, whereas this display that I'm actually showing here is StyroLOK small, so it would be cut to suit whatever lock you so desired. Quite often we get asked that they'd like to have their hatch doors or their tunnel boot doors level with the floor, so it's quite easily to sweep out any debris that might be inside after camping. So we get asked that, can that happen? Can that be made flush to the floor? Well, the answer is yes, and this is how it's done. Okay, well you can see here that with this tunnel boot that we've got the StyroSEAL LT bottom doorway extrusion piece nice and flush with the floor. Now there's a bit of a trick that's got to happen here. I can show you that. Whereas we actually use the bottom piece as a Z section and don't turn it into a C section. So in other words, what we do is we leave the back leg out when we're installing this. So I'll show you how that's done. If you see here when I talk about a C section, so we'll put the main door piece on and then we'll turn it into a C section with this drop-in leg. So the actual piece is goes into past the panel the thickness of itself. So when I say that we remove the back leg and don't use it, what you end up with in a Z section situation is that this trim still goes past the panel the thickness of itself, so it's 1.6 mil. So basically what that means is you have to cut a relief into your floor 1.6 mil to allow this trim to come past the panel, so you can actually apply the adhesive to the top of the panel and then to the back of the trim, which then goes up against your floor. Yeah, as you can see that this piece has been bonded to the top of the door cutout, and we've also applied adhesive to the back of the trim, which is bonded up against the floor sheeting. So the door seal comes with some self-adhesive tape already bonded to the seal, so you'll apply that to your door extrusion like so. Now what is extremely important is your mitering when you're joining the two sides together. So you're going to want to cut a 45 degree on both pieces, and you actually bond those together with some Loctite super glue that we also sell here at StyroMAX. So that's very, very important. Now cutting those miters with a nice sharp blade is critical. So the sealing of your hatch door is only going to be as good as the joining of your miters in each corner. equally important to making a StyroSEAL LT hatch door seal is the cutting of your miters for your aluminium trim. It's very critical, it really is. You can see here, if you've got the right miter saw at home, a good quality one, you can create some pretty good cuts. So you can also apply a little bit of adhesive to the end of each piece as you join them together to help create a seal as well. And finally, the self-adhesive D-seal. Now we get asked a lot, do we stick the seal on the doorway or the door? So our preference is the door. Now the reason for that is when you're loading your hatch door back up, you pretty much only have a chance of, as you're going through the hole, is to damage one piece of seal, instead of having the seal on the doorway where you have a chance of sort of damaging 4 pieces of seal if you're not careful enough.